If you've launched a meta campaign and you've seen it come out of the gate really strong, your CPMs are low, you're getting clicks, you're getting conversions, and you're excited, but then suddenly a few days in, a week or 2 weeks later, things change. All of a sudden your costs go up, your clicks are going down, you might not be converting out of your ads as well as you were hoping, and something happened. If you've been through that, this short video is going to help you understand why it happened, what you can do about it, and how you can actually reduce your workload, because a lot of the advice being given out there right now is, well, one, a lot of it's dangerous. Two, a lot of it is a ton of work. I don't know about you, but I like less work and better results, and that's the purpose of this video. So most videos and content and information out there says when we're struggling with our campaigns, it's because we need more creatives, because the Andromeda update that everybody keeps talking about, I'm just kind of tired of saying that, to be honest with you, but that update that they had really thrives on the creative. We know that the creative now is extremely important. Sure, managing your account is important, but the ad itself is extremely important. We'll get into that in a second. Why? But what they've been telling us, and when I say they, I mean people on social media, some of the books out there, and some of the content being produced, and even some of the long form content on YouTube has been saying all you've got to do is go create more ads. You got to get more creatives into your account, and that's going to help you. So people go out and they create new headlines, new hooks, new call to actions, the actual copywriting in the descriptions. They change it all up, and they upload another 20 or 50 at a time, these gigantic batches. That's what we've been told to do. So that's what people are doing. But let me ask you, if that was the solution, do you think everybody would be having these problems? No. That is part truth. I'm not going to say it's not true. You do need a good amount of creatives, but dumping 50 more, 20 more, even 10 more into your ads account doesn't mean that is the right thing and that's the solution to what you're going through. Because what happens when you do that is you launch your campaign, everything's good. Let's say you give it a week, and all of a sudden those numbers are starting to change and you're not excited. So taking the advice from what everybody says, you decide, hey, it's been a week or two in my account and things are getting expensive. Let's go create more ads, because that's what they told me to do. So you create 20 new ads, 20 new hooks, 20 new descriptions, 20 different call to actions, change the images. You made all these changes and upload it. And you said, you know what, maybe one of these is going to work. So you feel really good about yourself. You dump them into your account, you set off, and you come back in a couple days and you look at it. Well, guess what? Your costs are still high. You probably had a few that didn't work at all. Maybe Meta hardly showed some of those to anybody. And then it kind of fueled up some of the ones that really just didn't convert well. And now you're in that cycle again. So you think to yourself, okay, it's been a few days, some of them didn't work, I'm going to create more ads. And so you go turn off the bad ones, you create some new ones, and hope things are going to get better. And this cycle just can continue. Suddenly, your costs are going up. It's been, we're in a couple weeks now into your campaign, and you're thinking, I don't know what to do. I'm getting some conversions, but it's not as good as it started out. What is going on? I don't know. I guess I'm just going to kill it. I'm going to turn this thing off, and I'm just going to start from scratch. So you start from scratch, you go do it again, and a few weeks later, the cycle continues. So what do you do about it? Well, we have to first figure out what causes this, because we all see it. Like if you've ran ads in your business and you've seen it happen, you understand exactly what I'm talking about. Is when it comes out of the gate, things appear to be good, and as it settles, those costs go up and everything you think isn't as good as it should be. So one of the first things we need to understand is that your ad creative, the image, the words on the image, the copy, the destination where you're sending people, whether it's to your funnel or a click to call thing, all of that, Meta is going to go and try to find the strongest signals of people who are interested in that. And they're going to start typically by sending your ads to a warm audience that already kind of has some touch points with you or some signals that they know your brand. But then after those initial conversions or clicks or whatever, they're going to go out and try to find you more customers. That's their job, is to get your ad in front of the right people, because we know the ad creative itself now is really the soul of trying to find the targeting for your ideal client, your IC. And what happens is if it starts to see traction from signals from a certain group or age or type of person, it's saying, hey, this is the winner group. We're going to start going this path, right? Now, if it gets a strong signal from somewhere else, it'll pattern off, but it's going to go after the pattern of where it thinks those strong signals are and who's interested. But the smaller the audience is going to get, the more the costs are going to go up. I have a recent story of my own. I was running one of my own business campaigns. We launched it, and it started to show signals to a audience that I was quite surprised about. Who I was getting sales from wasn't initially kind of who I was going after. It was older folks. I'll say older. It was like 55 and above. And they were in a professional service, a financial professional services. And it started to head down that path. And I'll tell you how I know that in a second. Started to head down that path. Well, I'm getting great conversions. But guess what happened as it started to steer that ship towards that avatar who is converting really well in my funnel? The CPMs went high, right? Because it's older age, professional service, wealthier people. And so as you target that small audience, it's going to cost me more to get in front of those people. That's just the way it works. Well, the CPMs were climbing, but my clientele, I should say, were climbing at the same time. So how did I figure that out? Initially, so I have some stuff that we can see who's making sales and kind of a quick profile of what they are, who they are. But you can also, here's the tip I was going to tell you, you can also go in right now to your ads account, pull up your campaign that you're running, and if you're not really sure who it's going after, you can talk to the AI in there. I forget what they call it, the Facebook AI thing that's supposed to be their support service. You can talk to that and say, hey, what signals or what groups, like who are you going after? What are you seeing in this campaign? Because I don't know about you, but like nobody's doing targeting anymore. We pretty much run the Advantage Plus and let it do its thing. We let the ad creative and the words, all of that become our targeting. But if you ask that AI, it will actually tell you who the avatar is that it's seeing the strongest signals from. Now, maybe you're watching this video, maybe that's not available anymore. I don't know. But right now, towards the end of 2026 that we're in, that does work. And it's kind of cool. You kind of see it. And I proved it based on who my orders were coming from, double checked it, and it was actually correct. So I don't know if that works in the future, but today it's working. So now we know why Meta signals and like what they're going after, how they're trying to find your ideal clients for your ad. But the next thing we talk about that everybody's telling us to do is create more ads, give it more creatives, because that's what it thrives on. So we go off, we find a couple of the winning ads that we already have, and we think we should just create more ads like that. So we create 10 more, let's just say, and each one has 3 images, 3 descriptions, 3 headlines. Well, that is 27 things to test per ad, right? Because 3 times 3 times 3, if I'm doing my math right, is 27. And then you did 10 ads of that. That's 270 different things that it's going to have to test. That's crazy, right? Now, you're going to, like, I'm all for being able to upload multiple descriptions and multiple images in each ad, because then it can move them around, figure out what works and show the best one, or give alternates for people who've already seen our ads. But anyways, I'm a fan of that. But you understand what you're doing every time you dump in 10, 20, 50 ads is you're giving it all this new data that it has to try to sort through and figure out which one is working best on top of already running what you have before. So I hope you understand why that can cause us, we get really excited when we dump those ads in, but then a few days go by, a week goes by, and we wonder why some of them didn't get pushed. Well, because again, Meta is a signaling platform. So it finds one ad right away and it figures out which one, it moves the headlines, the images around, and it figures out it's going to start showing that more. It's going to ignore the other ones. So now we think we need to create more ads. And all of a sudden we're back in that same thing that we were talking about before, where we just see ads, see them deteriorate or don't get pushed, think we need more ads, and we just get stuck in that. In this cycle, you're probably getting frustrated and you're thinking, I need to kill this account or this ad campaign. It's just not working out. I'm going to start from ground zero, because when I start, it's always better at the beginning. So I think I'll just relaunch it. And that's sad, because you wasted time and money and effort and energy on that. So what is the solution to when you're launching campaigns, making sure you don't end up in this cycle where you start out great, things look good, and then suddenly you have to start creating more ads and things get out of control, costs go up, clicks go down, and then you kill it. How do you stop that? Here's my challenge to you. Anytime you're going to launch a campaign anywhere, but specifically on this platform, I really challenge you to launch your ads thinking that, hey, what would I do if I couldn't make any changes after I launch this? Now you can change your offer or you could change your sales page, but the ads themselves, the ads account, if you can't touch anything, how would you build that? You would probably take more time, put more effort and energy into it, right? Well, that's what I want you to think about is one, like put more effort into these because we've got this idea in our head that if we just dump in a bunch of creatives, the AI on Meta is going to figure it out for us. And we just hope that that happens. But I challenge you, I think we need to start out stronger. Here's why. We know that the ad itself is extremely important to the success of that campaign. Because, I mean, you can look it up. We know for sure that that is how people get targeted. That's how it's going after those signals early on, based on what the ad says, what the image looks like, what everything, all the data that's in that. It pulls that and it's going to go after what's in that. Like that's our targeting now. So, wouldn't it make sense to research, to understand, to write persuasive copy, to really build our ads as good as we can? I know we can't perfect them out of the gate and we have to test things and we're always going to strive to improve. But wouldn't we want to launch better ads to help us along the way? So how would we do that? The first step you need to do is research. You have to understand not just what your business does or what your offer wants to say, how you want to say that message. Understand them better than anything in the world, because when you can get an ad in front of your ideal client that they feel like you wrote it for them and them alone, like you know them so well, they're like, this is me. Whoever this person is, they get it. This is me. That's how your ads should feel. And you can't get there without researching. So I highly encourage you to research, understand, hire somebody to do it. If you don't have time, hire a professional to do this, to do the research, to write the ads for you. Copywriters, if you want to hire a copywriter, they can be a little expensive, but that's what they're going to do. The majority of their job is first figure out who it is, what they want, what their pains, pleasures, desires, all of that is, and then they write their copy to that person. You need to do the same thing with your ads. So research is extremely important. That's the first thing we want to do before we create our ads. The next thing, we need to understand copywriting. And it's 2026 as I do this video. I don't know when you're watching this. But copywriting has been a skill that's been here for the last 100 years at least. It is a skill that you need to have. You need to understand how to persuade people, the right people, of what you do, what your offer is, and why it matters to them. That's the biggest thing. And there's books and courses and all this information out there, and everybody wants to use ChatGPT or Claude to write it, and it's not that great. I use it. You can prompt it, but it's not that great. You still have to go in and make a lot of changes because it's trained on the same thing over and over and over again. So you can only do so much with your prompt. But you, when you've done your research, you understand that person better. That's going to be way more successful than some catchy headline that AI tells you is really good. Because what it might tell you is fine for the masses, but you are going after that person. So when they see your ad, they know you are talking to them. So understand copywriting principles and implementing those, specifically direct response copy, into your ads campaigns or your ads that you create for Meta is going to be game changer. And finally, images, right? You can do so many things with images. So you've got your other things set up. You understand who you're going after. Create that image that they would understand. The one that we talked about, the person who's watching this or reading through your ad or whatever, and they're like, this is it. That image, when it comes across, it clicks with them. Now you could do text over image. Like it doesn't have to be a picture of outdoors for, a basketball team or whatever you're going after. It could just be text on the image, but it has to catch their attention. If it is an emotional ad, am I targeting the right emotion? Like spend time on your images. Don't just spit out whatever AI gives you. You can use AI to create them all day long, but think about the fundamentals behind it. And it kind of goes with your copywriting. Like what are you going after with that person? What's the feeling? And again, you have to understand your ideal client. Now, this sounds like a lot, but remember my challenge was, what would you do if you couldn't change anything after you uploaded your ads and launched your campaign. You would do all of these things if you had one shot at it. But quite often we're doing the opposite. We're just not doing that much work. We're uploading it and we're hoping for the best. And then all of a sudden we get stuck in this cycle. We're trying to change our ads and things like that. If you will come out of the gate strong with your ideal client profile set up, speaking to them in your ad, through your copyright, through your headlines, through your imagery, you're going to have way more success, not just out of the gate, but long term. So here's my challenge to you. If you've struggled like I have in the past myself, and you know what it's like when you come out of the gate, things look good, the costs go up, all that happens. What I challenge you with is before you submit your ads for approval and it launches, make sure you have your initial ad set so strong, so good that you are ready to never change anything again in the future, which I obviously change them in the future, right? Find the winners, keep testing things, test new angles, test new ideas. But if you come out with a better campaign, you're going to have better success. Anyways, hopefully this helps somebody who's struggling with high costs and low clicks, and you found this valuable. If you did, click the like button. We'll see you in another video. Bye.